Sometime in the early 1960s, Keith Fulsher, living in Wisconsin at the time, came up with a pretty unique style of fly. Now, a bucktail tied with a reverse head was not a completely new idea at the time, but he really took the idea and ran with it. Now, he did a lot of experimenting with it, mainly still using bucktail, but he tried it out with hooks with a down eye and then an up eye until he finally settled on a straight eye. And he did tie them pretty sparse, and he also added some resin to make it a hard head. But the biggest and most unique characteristic of this fly, I think anyway, is that he uses different colors of bucktail, usually a natural or a dark for the top, and then a white bucktail for the underside, kind of representing a belly of a baitfish. And in some of them, he used black bucktail on the sides to represent lateral lines. Now, the flies did really well for him, and he decided instead of just naming each individual fly, he would name the style, and he wanted to name it after the creek that he first tried them out and experimented with them, which was Thunder Creek, so he called these Thunder Creek flies, or the Thunder Creek series. And these streamers really caught on in the fly fishing world. They've got a reputation for catching big fish, and they are just really good-looking flies. So in 1973, he decides to share them with the world and writes a book on them. And the book did really well. Some folks call it a classic, and I guess it did well enough that in 2006, Stackpole re-released it in a paperback version. Now, about the book. 110 pages, good quality paper, some beautiful color pictures all throughout. Not just of the flies, but of some of the big fish that have been caught with these flies. It's broken down into 9 chapters. The first 3 or so are a background and a little bit of evolution of the flies, and then some theory on how to create minnow baitfish patterns. Then there's a chapter on actually how to tie them, and then a little bit more on how to fish them. And there's a chapter on the end on Thunder Creek style for saltwater fishing. Now, this is definitely a how-to book. The 20 pages or so on how to tie them, that's really all you need on learning this style. But what makes the book great for me is the background and the history and the evolution of how he came up with these, and then the theory on how to create flies for, baitfish patterns. So, who is this book for? Well, I would say it's for any tyer or fisherman who uses streamers, which is probably all of us. And do I recommend it? Well, absolutely, with a cover price of $23, still available on Amazon, usually a little bit cheaper than that. This is a great book, and I think a good addition to any tyer's library. Now, I'll put a link to it in the description, but before you go out and buy it, why don't you take your chance at winning this copy? And how we do that here, just leave a comment. I'm going to pick the word thunder. So leave a comment anywhere in your comment. Say the word thunder. You don't even need to put a hashtag. I just learned recently that, I can use a random comment picker without a hashtag. So just mention the word thunder anywhere in your comment. Today is Sunday, June 26, 2022. I'll let it run for a couple days, and on Wednesday after work, sometime in the evening, I'll go to the random comment picker and pick a comment and get the book in the mail to you. So that's it, everybody. I appreciate you watching. Good luck. We'll see you in a couple days.